Hi there everyone, welcome to this quick overview of the new features in Metareal Stage Beta 5. I'm just going to go down to project, a new project I created or so ago, and I've uploaded a bunch of panoramas. So this is a pretty cool little chalet. First thing we're going to look at is you can now see we have US Imperial Units as well as the traditional metric units, so you can set those project wide. The next thing you'll see is this big friendly green button at the top right here now, which says build it for me. Now basically what we've done is if we now have a pretty good network of Metareal certified artists who are able to build tours, and so what we're doing is we're making it so that you can actually contract these folks to build your tour for you. So instead of having to learn the tour and build the tour yourself, what you can do now is simply upload your panoramas, hit build it for me, accept the production contract and submit the request. And what will happen then is that we'll get a notification and one of our artists will be able to quickly reconstruct your tour for you and get it back to you as a tour in your account. So that's the first big thing, and that makes it much easier. It means you can get all the benefit of the extremely fast low density shooting that you can do on location with Metareal, and also all the benefits of the kinds of tours, the quality of tours that Stage can produce without necessarily having to invest your own time in learning how to use the tool and build the tours yourself. Obviously, once the tours are in your account, you can do what you like and you can add to them and you can modify them any way you want, but all the basic processing is done for you. So the next thing we'll take a look at is the changes and improvements that have happened in the tour editor. I'm going to grab a bunch of panoramas from a particular room, and I'm going to create a new room with those panoramas. So we can see got these 3 panoramas here, and what I want to do is connect them all together to make a room. So I'm going to choose this one, I think, probably. Or maybe this one. No, I'll choose this one as a reference. And now you can see we've got show alignment tools as usual. We've also got the new auto leveling that we introduced in Beta 4. Just gonna see that that's nice and straight. But now what we can do is I can automatically apply the auto leveling to all the panoramas in the room. Now we can quickly look around. I'm actually just going to go to leveling view, and let's just check some of these verticals and make sure that they're lining up nicely. And that looks pretty good. Everything is lined up good. So our auto leveling tool has done a reasonably decent job, and you find it works in pretty much all situations, unless the space you're working on is really just has too much clutter, is too noisy. Okay, so just going to quickly so I've done this super quick. Probably actually need to bring that's gone right into the corner there, which is the right place. We probably need to put a box on the inside just to make sure the pillar is working fine. So now another change we've made is instead of having to click on ceiling height to set the ceiling, now I can just drag the ceiling up and we can set the ceiling height. If for any reason we do need a tilted ceiling, now often we have slight tilts on ceilings. You can see this here is slight tilt, and then hold down shift and just lift it to fit. So now we're fitting nicely all the way around. So that's pretty cool. So I'm just going to go back to level lines for a second and take a look at the level lines that are here. Sometimes I find some, like for example the one on this curtain, or even a cluster of them. Like we've got a big cluster of level lines here that are obviously not good, and to remove those auto level lines individually is going to be a huge challenge. So what we can do now, in fact, is hold down Shift and just drag out a box across those level lines, and that's actually cleaned up. I can see it's made an improvement to the leveling already. So it's very quick now to clean up those spurious level lines, as opposed to being something that's slow and laborious the way it was before. And so the next thing we're going to take a look at is doors. Now, see, adding doors to rooms and windows to doors and windows to rooms can't get a whole lot simpler. However, what we've done is we've actually made it so that now we have a bit better green highlight, so you can see more easily when a door is selected or a window is selected, and also you can select it from anywhere over the region of the door or the window, without having to kind of pick on the little lines, and you can see hopefully the highlights of the different parts of the door and window more easily. So I think that's it for the major changes in the room editor. One of the things we can take a look at now, there's my room there. If I click on unused only, it's going to automatically hide the panoramas that I've already used in my tour, and just show me the ones that are unused, which is quite useful when you've got to start to have a large number of panoramas. Sometimes working out which ones you've used already or haven't ends up being quite complicated. So now we just hide the ones that are already in use. Okay, so I'm going to head to the tour editor. So the tour editor is where we assemble our rooms together into a tour. Generally, we don't open it till we've got multiple rooms, but I'm just showing a quick demo at the moment. So I'm going to add the new room, and I'm going to just go bake it, because it's the first time we've brought this room into the editor. So now we can go check out our model view, and we can see our 3D model that we've generated. It's quite precise. I didn't bother putting any volumes in that other room, and we're just using the single panorama for now, but so that's why there's some smudgy bits. But we can go into the preview, and you'll see that we've got a few more options in the preview. First of all, we've got a new, more efficient UI, redesigned UI at the bottom here. So we actually hide all the buttons, or more of the buttons by default, but you can see them all there. Still got the measuring tools, but they're all out of sight to begin with. And you can flip through the different views. Got the room chooser, and we've now got better support, so pretty much flawless support for VR, which was a bit experimental in the last version of the viewer. So that what you can do is you can either switch on handheld based tracking, or indeed stereo VR mode, cardboard VR mode. So if you've got like an Oculus Go or a Gear VR with the cardboard to VR plug-in, you can actually go ahead and open that up in VR, and you'll find you're able to navigate quite comfortably. Now I've got a custom tour thumbnail option, so you can actually upload your own image to use instead of by default what we use is the starting point for the tour. So if I set this, that captures this image and uses that as the tour starting point, and now sets this as the tour starting point. So if you go into the plan view, you'll see that panorama, and where you're looking is the little arrow shows you what the tour starting point is. But you can actually add your own image for the tour thumbnail. So the last thing I'm going to take a look at for Beta 5 is going to look at gallery. We're going to look at the new player UI. Now we saw a little bit about how it behaves when we were looking at the preview in the tour editor, because they're essentially the same thing. But it's worth looking at the play around. So you'll notice, despite this being an 8K tour, the tour loaded extremely quickly, and now it's really just a matter of seconds for a tour to load up. Obviously, depending on how fast your connection is. First thing you'll see is that we now post a little set of instructions for the end users, so they know it's an interactive tour. We've had some people mentioning that when they see a tour embedded in a page, they don't necessarily know that it's something they can interact with. So we're posting that. This little set of instructions takes the language of the browser client. So at the moment we're supporting English, French, and Japanese. We'll be adding more languages as time goes on. So hit OK, and here we are. We're already in the tour. We've reduced the kind of the start size of the player UI. So now there's it's a little bit more discreet, although you can still access all the same functionality, full screen. And as I said, we've done a lot of work on the VR support. So the VR support is much more advanced, much more robust in this version. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.